What is going on, YouTube? This is my first video on PGA Tour 2K23. I wanted to really go over just a brief introduction overview, especially into the skills, the fittings, how I have my bag set up, maybe even head over to the driving range a little bit, talk about the swing. And really, I just wanted to be more informative. There's a lot of times I'm streaming, people have a lot of questions. How do you get certain fittings? How do you trade? How do you upgrade? All of those things I'm going to cover right here just for you. First things first, I'm going to go online and we are going to head over to the My Player. The My Player section is where you're going to have all your customization options. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my locker. Now, my locker has my ball, which as you see is the default ball. You can actually reskin this. So if you don't like that boring white ball, you can change the ball appearance. If you want to have a hat on your ball, go ahead. I actually chose the yellow TaylorMade TP5. It stands out. It's easy to see, but I have unlocked some other ones as well. If you want the Pix ball, go ahead. I think there's some pretty cool options there, especially for a default ball. I do not look like looking at just a white ball. Next thing I'm going to do is all these clubs, there is no advantage of them. Unlike PGA Tour 2K21, where they had different distances, different strengths, different weaknesses, all the clubs go the same. So if I have my driver here, which is a stealth driver, and I want to change the appearance of it, I can go to a ping driver if I want to. I can change the different shaft colors down here if I want to. And then further down the list, there's the grip colors. Okay, so we can make all these changes right here. If I want to do a ping, let's just say I want a green shaft. Oh my goodness, and how about a pink grip? If that suits you, go ahead, do that. Not really my thing, so I'm going to take this back to somewhat similar to what I had it. Let's go back up to the blue there. Let's go blue shaft. And what grip looks halfway decent here? Not that one. Yeah, I guess we can go with that one right there. That grip. Okay. I'm going to back out of that. And same thing for all the clubs. Here is the trick. The trick comes down to the fittings. You can see here on the right-hand side where it says power 85, timing 74, swing path 74, transition 82, so on and so forth. That is really where the forgiveness, that's where all the attributes of your golfer and their clubs come into play. There are different fittings for each club. So if I'm going to just go back into the driver, actually, it makes it nice and easy. Here are the fittings that I have available for my driver head. Okay. Now, they all have different attributes. So you have three different sections of your club. You have your head, you have the shaft, and then you have the grip. All right, so on this club itself, I decided to put the driver grip here for swing path on. And as you can see, if I had none of it on, my default attributes are on the right-hand side there. Power 92, timing 70, swing path 72, transition 87, shaping 86, and lie range 78. When I stick the swing path one on, it actually changes. I'm going to get 4 extra power. I'm going to get 3 timing. I'm going to get 8 swing path, but I'm going to lose 1 in transition. I'm going to gain 6 in shaping and 1 in lie range. So you see how that works. Sometimes it's a trade-off. Sometimes there are things where you have to say, do I want to sacrifice one for the other? And you do this really with all of your clubs. Now, there is something here that you can do. Is you can actually go into the bottom of your screen. If you hit I'm in the PlayStation 5, you hit your R2 button a couple times. 1, 2, here's your fittings. All your fittings right here. Now, if I wanted to upgrade, let's just say I had, here we go. We got 3 of these right here. I am going to select exchange. And then I'm going to choose a couple other ones here. See on the right-hand side there, I can exchange it. I can exchange it, and when I do, I can choose what I want it to be. It'll still be a green. It won't be upgraded, but at least you can pinpoint what you want. So if you have a weak driver and you want to upgrade, let's just say, the power attribute for it, you can look at your driver and say, okay, which fittings do I not have? Oh, my grip doesn't have one. I can put a power attribute there. Or what if your shaft doesn't have one? Cool, you can put the power attribute in your shaft. Or if your head doesn't have one, you can put it there. But you can choose timing, swing path, transition, shaping, lie range. And this is very useful, especially when you get up to the legendaries. Okay. The legendary fittings cannot be upgraded. There's nothing higher than them, right? So if I had 3 of these right here, I could select 3 of these. And then what I could do is I could hit upgrade. Now just imagine for me one more time that these are actually legendary fittings here for a second. I'm going to stick those right there. And I can exchange these for whatever I want. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that right now. Let's just say exchange. And I'll just say, oh my goodness, I want something for my wedges. I want, I don't know, my shaft. Let's just go transition. Okay. Well, these are actually, putter ones, but cool. When I hit generate here, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to get a wedge transition shaft just like I wanted. Now it takes 3 of those green ones to get one of the dialed in one that you want. But it's worth it, especially when you get to the legendary ones, the orange ones. On the other hand, if you didn't want to exchange it, you could upgrade. So let's just say I had a one I want to upgrade. I want to get a blue one, okay? So I could select, oh my goodness, let's say I selected this one. Let's go exchange, and I'll do that one, and I'll do that one. And if you notice, you got to hit your triangle button. On the right-hand side there, it says exchange. This is some point of confusion. If I hit the triangle button, now it says upgrade. And now I'm taking 3 of my green ones and upgrading them for a blue one. Unlike the exchange, this one's random. I do not get to pick my attribute. So it's at the whim of the 2K golf gods. Can be helpful, but sometimes you don't get what you want. But that's fine. If you don't get what you want, let's just say you traded in 3 purples and you want to upgrade it to a legendary fitting, and you wanted one for your driver, but you got one for your hybrid, no problem. Just keep it there. Upgrade a couple more times. Maybe you unlock a legendary fitting. Once you get 3 of those, then you can do the exchange and pick exactly what you want. That's how you can dial in. It's going to take some grinding, going to take some time, but patience will pay off in the end. And I can just basically hit upgrade here, and it's going to give me a random one at the next level. So cool, I got a wood timing head. See how that works. Very interesting. Hopefully that kind of cleared up some things. There has been some confusion around that for sure. Okay, now let me talk about balls. We go into ball type here. Now this is controversial. Whether you like it or not, this is what we have. Some people want to know, how do I get a ball that doesn't roll very fast on the greens? Let's say you have 187 greens and these are super fast and you can't keep a ball on them on a downhill putt. Well, if you had something like, let's just say this friction ball here, which is legendary, but it's also, the friction ball is down here in the epics, and it's down here at every single level. The magnet and the friction balls are at every single level here, but really the friction ones are the ones that are going to roll the less. If you go to legendary, we look at this friction ball in legendary, it has a roll of 5. Here's the key. The lower the roll number, the slower that ball is going to be on the greens. So if you had really, really super fast greens, you would want the lowest roll number you can, which is this friction level pack on the legendary. But to be fair, if I went down to the friction down here, it still knocks off 15, and these are just common balls. If I went to the uncommon ones, it's 35. I've actually played a couple rounds on these ones right here, and where it gives you 15. And you're talking, this is quite a bit of a dramatic difference. This is the difference between having a 65 roll on 187s. So the baseline's 187 for the default ball. It's going to roll 187. It's going to be super fast downhill. Good luck keeping it on the green. If I selected this, now it basically turns those greens into 140s, which is super manageable, especially on downhill putts. So that's one of the bigger things that I would say you should look for in a ball. Look at what green speed you're playing on, because it does make a difference. And it can make a massive difference in your scores. I've actually played against some friends. We all tested this out, and I shot 10 shots better using this ball right here because the greens were super slick. So keep that in mind. As far as the spin goes, flight, all that stuff, bounce, I haven't really been too concerned with it. I really don't like messing too much with my flight because I like predictable math. If I'm going into, let's say I have a 8-iron and I'm going into a 10-mile-an-hour wind, and let's say it's a perfectly flat lie, pins not uphill or downhill, I'm expecting that to be somewhere around the 14-yard hurt mark. Now, if I had a ball that I equipped here with flight, it will actually penetrate that wind more and the effect would be less. Hence, it'd be messing my math up. So I don't like messing with those too much. I typically just stick to the roll numbers. Again, whether you like it or not, this is the way it is. I don't know how it's going to be for TGC. I don't know if they have the ability to restrict to just the default ball. But if you're able to, and if it is okay within these competitions, and you see ahead of time that you're playing very fast greens, maybe worth going there and change your ball out. Because more than likely, if you're playing someone like me, I'm going to be doing that because it's legal and everyone else is probably going to be doing it. So you don't want to be left behind playing a default ball on super fast greens. All right. I think that basically, pretty much covers it from there. Again, your collection, you can change things out the way you want to. The appearance, it has no effect on the attributes of your club. The attributes come into when you have your fittings and the apparel. You can go around your apparel. You can look around for that. Next thing I do want to talk about is your skills. There's been a lot of confusion about this. And here's the way I look at it. The skills, you have different categories here. So you have support skills and you have momentum skills. For example, support skills is when you do something bad and you need help. Miss 2 putts in a row within 5 feet, right? Well, it'll help you out. Then there's the deactivation side of it. If I go to the next column here, these are momentum skills. So you've done something good. Sink 2 putts in a row from within 5 feet, and you get a putt path boost. There's other people like Respawn and plenty of other channels that I think have went over this. What I have gotten questions on is, how do I get all the way to the ones over here? They seem to be locked. Here's the deal. You have to unlock 29 points from this column here over to the left. You can spend them any way you want to, but you got to spend 29 of them. And then it unlocks this right side. This right side, these are perpetual. If you look at it, these are the ones you want to get to. Your passive effects, they're always active. So you don't have to do anything. They're always going to be active. This is really where you want to get to. Hence the reason why you see I've spent a lot of my points over here. Normal shots, receive transition, swing path, timing, boost off the tee. How about that? Okay, and if I come all the way down here, normal shots, receive transition, swing path, timing, boost from the fairway. That's with my wedges. With my putter, again, I get a weight path boost on the green. It's always active. This is where you want to be. So remember, you have to spend 29 skill points here in order to get to this spot over here, and you only get 50 skill points total. I have 2 more I can spend right now. I'm not going to do it. Moving on to archetype. I've played a lot of these archetypes, and I'm going to tell you my strategy. I am a powerhouse. I'm a powerhouse, and I've played this game on Greensman, Rhythm, Woodsman, and Sculptor. My opinion is go with the powerhouse and then spend all of your fittings on things. If I go back over here, spend your fittings on areas that have some forgiveness. For example, if I look at my driver head here, I have a transition boost. Okay, this is a swing path boost. My first one, I have no idea why it's not showing up, but this is my, that's a timing boost. So timing, transition, swing path. Those are the 3 things that are in the forgiveness category. I'm not spending any money on power or shaping or lie range. I already have power. Okay. I need the forgiveness of the timing. Okay. I need to be able to hit those perfects, not slows, not fasts, but perfects. That's where the timing comes in. Swing path, that's your blue line. You want to be able to hit your blue line consistently, but the wider that margin is, the easier it is to hit a consistent shot. And I've done that pretty much all the way down my set. So if I come down here and I come into fittings here, I have a timing boost, legendary. I have a shaft boost for the swing path, and once again, I have a timing boost, right? So I have a bunch of timing on that one. Why? Because I want the forgiveness. I'm a powerhouse. I don't have forgiveness. This is what we're going for. So if you're going to go with the powerhouse, which I do recommend, then you need to spend all of your fittings on things that give you forgiveness. Here's the other thing that I've noticed on fittings for the putter. I have one for putt weight here. And again, I have putt path and I have a putt weight. My opinion, I've putted. There isn't a whole lot of penalty for your putts when you miss your blue line. What I've noticed is I have a perfect blue line going back, and I have one that's gone off to the left before. The ball still went pretty straight. The trick here with the putting, especially in really fast greens, is the weight. So I added a little bit more weight sensitivity there, and that's the reason why I decided to put, a legendary. I actually chose that one. I chose the weight one because I feel like getting the speed, the weight, is more important than the line because I'm a pretty good putter as it is. All right, so there's that. Let me actually go over to the training area, and I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about with the blue line. Now I'll go over how I swing the club. Everyone swings the club a little bit differently. I have a PlayStation 5 controller. That I seemingly unplugged. There we go. PlayStation 5 controller, right? And I'll show you how I swing in a different video, but for this one here, you have your calibration. You can do that if you want to. If you notice that you're not able to be very, very consistent with your tempos, go ahead and do that swing calibration. I did it a couple times, and I think I got it to a pretty decent spot. But in here, it's really nice. Beware your wind. See what your wind is. But, you can just start. This is how I warm up every day. This is my first swing of the day. Not the best. But you can hone this in before you get to your match. There you go. See, my blue line's relatively straight. Just a little slow. And you can really, warm up, tune that in. But me being a powerhouse, I still have, a decent amount of forgiveness. Even if I miss just a little bit, that miss right there is really not that bad. And I'm not even overpowering. I realize I'm downwind, but I'm still hitting it almost 350 yards. That was a miss. I did that on purpose just to show you. That is what a borderline black fast or red fast and a gray fast does. It's still very playable. Why? Because I spent my fittings on being forgiving. Now there's a perfect. So you notice they all went basically around the same area. I'm not massively missing. Now I can massively miss, and let's see if I can do that here. I'm going to try to overpower one and massively miss it. Kind of. Still wasn't that bad. It's kind of hard actually to massively miss. It always creeps up when you want to. Oh, another pro tip. If you want to gain a little bit of extra yardage there, just loft it up. There's a massive miss. And still, it's relatively in play. So you can have forgiveness in a powerhouse. You just have to know how to spend your fittings. All right, let me go over to the putting green. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So being a powerhouse, putting is supposed to be the weakness, right? So let me actually set up auto mulligan on. That's another thing you should be doing. Hit predictable putts over and over again. Okay. And you can turn the meter on if you want to. But I'm just going to come down here and I'm just going to hit putts. See how right there my blue line went left. It went left. It still went in the hole. As long as you get it back pretty good like that, your blue line forward doesn't really make that big of a difference. Let me see if I can really miss one. Well, try to pull it. Hold on. One more try. There. I really yanked that left. Look at that. It still went perfectly straight. Now, what happens if my blue line goes to the left on the way back? Now we're going to get into some problems here. See how you missed it by quite a bit? You have to really miss that by a lot in order to see how it went left, then I'm canceled out right. I'm trying to miss these putts, and I just can't. So here's my point. The weakness for a powerhouse, now I don't know if 2K is going to change this. The weakness for a powerhouse is putting. As you see, it's really difficult to hit a really, really bad putt. I think you really have to get it out of that gray box mark. So you see the white line there, and then you see the gray box. You have to really get outside of that quite a bit in order to miss it. Now, so it really comes down to weight. So the speed, hence the reason why I spent most of my skill points on my fittings on the weight. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. And I appreciate everybody. Till the next time for the next video, y'all have a good one.